Happy Major Week, y'all. I am so happy to be right outside of Seattle right now. I'm Hope Barnett. This is Inside the LPGA podcast. And guys, it is a major week. This is insane. I cannot believe it's the third major of the year, but I'm happy to be joined by the renowned golf journalist, Adam Stanley, and LPGA Tour player, Emma Talley. Guys, how's it going? I know, Adam, you were just at the US Open, which was crazy. Emma, you're just golfing. What's going on? Adam, what's going on?
Yeah, so you're right. I was just at the U.S. Open, Pinehurst #2. The next time that Pinehurst hosts the U.S. Open, we're going back to back again. The LPGA Tour is going to play the U.S. Women's Open the week after the U.S. Open on the men's side, I think in 2029, which should be incredible. Venue was awesome. Finish was incredible. Just an absolutely dramatic, down to the wire, big win. Tough finish by Rory McIlroy as well. But that's enough of the men's major. We're on to the women's major, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. We're moving right on. That's in the rear view. Everything's happening all over again. But it was a unique week. My first Father's Day away from my daughter, unfortunately. But we came back on Monday. We had a nice little time together, and she got me a nice little card and used her little footprints to make like a golf green. My wife put it all together like that. Cute. I just posted it on my Instagram story. So yeah, and then I got to give a shout out to her on television on my hit on Sunday night, which was very cute, and she waved at the TV. It was awesome.
Aww.
So tough to be away, but we're back now, and it's KPMG Women's PGA Championship week. We got bigger things that we're dealing with.
Bigger fish to fry. Emma, where are you in the world right now?
Y'all, I've been all kinds of places. Let me tell you, Epson Tour is no joke. We were in Columbus, Indiana last week, and now I'm in Harris, Michigan. And I actually met my husband here in 2016, and then we won this tournament in 2017 together. So
it
had all these special memories. And I got here yesterday and I was like, wow, it's not what I remember, but I have a lot of good memories here. It's just up in the UP area. So it was a big drive yesterday for me. And now we're staying at the casino, which is interesting. So yeah. I'll get to watch all the girls win or lose some money this week. I'm not a big gambler myself, but yeah, just golfing.
Just golfing. Oh, I love that. I didn't know that's where y'all met. That's so cute.
Yeah, and then like I said, we won the next year when he caddied for me, which is pretty cool.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Oh, what a good story. What a good tour love story. I love it.
Tremendous.
I love that. Also, Adam, yeah, like you were talking about, happy late Father's Day. And everyone watching or listening, happy late Father's Day. But like you said, we have bigger fish to fry, which kind of brings me back to where we are. We're in
bigger
Seattle.
Fish to fry than our dads.
Yeah,
our dads or children. Yeah,
we've moved on.
Everyone's moved on. The father's rear view. Women's PGA Championship. We're locked. Right. Let's go. Yeah.
All the dads, they got their day. We're moving on. All right. Yeah. Okay. So it's early. Okay. I'm on the West Coast over here. It's early. But yeah, it's KPMG Women's PGA Championship week. We just came off of the Meyer LPGA Classic where Lilia Vu won. We are going to be catching up with Ronnie Yin, who won this tournament last year, which was an incredible week. I was there. I was on site. Absolutely loved every second of it. So usually, as you guys know, we would do our Slays of the Week at this point. And I feel like it's been a while since I actually updated the people on why we do Slay of the Week. But the reason we do that is because Lilia Vu, number 2 in the world, that's her favorite word is slay. And it's even on her golf clubs, which is amazing. Or I guess her head covers, whatever you want to say. But this week we're not doing our personal slays because Lilia won. And that's the biggest slay of all. That is the biggest slay of all.
To come back after she hadn't been playing because of a hurt back and she's been dealing with it on and off all year, that is a slay. Come back, mic drop, I'm going to win anyways, and I am a baller. So she deserves all the slays. So congratulations, Lilia.
She really does.
It's just, and the way and the manner in which she won the tournament. I know, obviously, this is a couple days removed from, the actual tournament itself. So pretty much everyone listening kind of knew how she did it. But I think when you kind of zoom out from thinking okay, she's got to make a couple birdies and maybe figure it out, and someone's got to come back and blah blah blah. Just the Sunday night drama of it all, and the manner in which she made birdies in the playoff, and just kind of took this tournament, by just right down to the wire and won it. Like, she didn't just back into this win. She went out and she won this tournament in a playoff with birdies. That's a major, major win and a major slay for her and by her, 100%.
Love that. I want to just kind of update everyone watching or listening in case they don't know how she actually won. I'm just going to break it down for everybody because she was 6 groups back from the leaders, which is kind of crazy to also come off of a week where Linnea Strom also had a major comeback and won the ShopRite LPGA Classic. And then last week, this was Lilia Vu's first tournament since March. She has not played on the LPGA Tour since March because she's been hurt. She's been recovering from an injury. She missed 2 majors. She was 8 back heading into the final round. She said in her post-round press conference, she was like, I was not thinking about winning. I was just trying to put up a good number to, maybe get like a top 10 finish in her first week back. So absolutely crazy. Her 5th LPGA Tour win. She's won 2 majors before. It's a major week, but I just want to talk a little bit about her mental toughness. I feel like we've kind of seen that throughout her career. She's come back from injuries before. She went to Epson Tour. She almost quit the game. Emma, what do you think that says coming from a fellow player, just about that mental toughness that she has to come out and win in a week where she hasn't played in months?
Yeah, I mean, obviously super resilient. She persevered and got it done. And I mean, we've all been on different roads to be successful out on the LPGA Tour, and I've had my road that's been up and down and all around. So I just kudos to her because I'm sure being hurt at the end of the day, like being hurt and playing golf is really hard, especially a back injury. And so I just thank her team. She always thanks her team. So I think she must have some really good people around her, which is really important. And I just think that she's a great person, and she's been able to put aside, having to go back to Epson Tour and having a back injury. She's kind of used it to her advantage, and she's not used it as like I'm going to give myself a pity party. She's always come back even stronger than before. So to come back and win the golf tournament, like Adam said, in a playoff with someone, Grace Kim has been at the top several weeks in a row. Then you have Lexi, who's been playing great and has like this new freedom on her. To come back and do this was really, really exceptional. And I'm sure Nellie's kind of feeling the heat too. I know she's won a lot, but being number 2 behind Nellie, I think that Lilia was like, oh, remember me? I'm still here.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And y'all kind of mentioned it, but yeah, so she did go into a 3-way playoff, a 3-hole playoff with Lexi Thompson and Grace Kim. And I just want to give you two a shout out because Adam, you mentioned her and you mentioned Lexi in your quick 9 last week. And then Allie Ewing also got close to winning. And Emma, I believe you mentioned her as well. You both did. So y'all are really dialed in with your picks. I'm just going to say y'all are
picking them.
Yeah, exactly. But that playoff was nuts. I mean, they both birdied. It was crazy.
And even, and Hope, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Lexi almost chipped in for an eagle in regulation?
She almost
completely
won,
quash it. Right.
Outright.
Yeah, outright, and just tremendous. And I think kind of going back to our point, certainly, the reason why I brought Lexi up was kind of like, hey, if she's saying, I'm done, and just the the freedom to pick and choose the events to kind of get in the mix as she so chooses. This was a place that she had won before, but just kind of playing without care and playing with an approach to just like, I'm going to go out there and see what happens and have no real consequence. It was pretty damn cool to see her, climb the board and get so, like, not just firmly in the mix, but with a tidy chance to actually win the tournament. So, it was obviously that was my rationale for saying her name, but the fact that she kind of went out and did the darn thing was cool. It was really neat.
Absolutely. And I think going into good form at a major too is key for all of those players. And I know Lexi already has like a huge fan base, but I saw a lot of comments about people like, okay, I'm a new Grace Kim fan. She gained a lot of fans and a lot of followers this week. So that's really cool to see. But at the end of the day, it was Lilia that walked away with the win. And Adam, I know that you have some good KPMG performance insights for us this week. So hit us with those.
This week's the KPMG Performance Insight for the week. So Lilia, again, we talked about it. She won this tournament, but this was Lilia's second win when being outside of the top 10 entering the final round, and she's the only player since 2000 to actually do that twice. So again, you come in, you got to shoot a low number. Lilia's done it not just once, but she's done it twice. So this was her second win when outside the top 10, entering the final round, and the only player since 2000 to do it twice. That was our KPMG Performance Insight for this week. And speaking of KPMG, our friends at KPMG, it's the KPMG Women's PGA Championship week, and Ronnie Yin is going to be looking to successfully defend her title after winning by one shot last year at the iconic Baltusrol over Yuka Sasso, and we had a tremendous conversation with the defending champion. So here it is. Let's run the clip. We've got Ronnie in here on the podcast talking all about her win from last year and looking ahead to this year.
All right, guys, what is up? Welcome Ronnie Yin into the podcast. Ronnie, first of all, thank you for joining. This is a big week for you. You are defending. What is it like? I mean, obviously this course is beautiful, but what has this week been like for you so far and just being able to defend this title?
This week has been pretty good so far. I was a little busy, but I really enjoy the course, and I think it's very challenging course, and I love it.
Yeah. I know you had the Champions Dinner last night, right?
Yep.
Okay, how was it? Did you get to pick the meal? If so, what meal did you pick?
Yes, I get to pick the meal, and I had sushi. I chose sushi and steak, and
Nice.
yeah, and the ice cream for dessert.
Nice.
Oh, wait, was it a
Amazing.
big hit?
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so.
I think everyone loves the ice cream.
Oh, I love that. Emma, I know you have some questions for our defending champ, so I'm going to hand it off to you.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to ask some fun questions and some golf questions.
Okay.
Yeah, all of the above. So last year when you won KPMG, you kind of made a joke that you finally could pay Janet back for all the rent money. Are you guys still living together? Are you guys how's that going? Do you guys play practice rounds? Do you actually practice at home together? What's y'all's relationship like? And I'm sure that has made you a better golfer and kind of a mentor.
Oh yeah, we never lived together because she got two houses in Orlando, and I'm just renting her old house.
Ah.
Yeah, the rent.
Nice.
Yes, the rent was definitely up a little bit, but like she said,
Fair
it's
enough.
a fair amount.
I hear that me and you have one thing in common. We both love New Zealand, and I hear you're going to be in New Zealand this off season a little bit with your coach. And I don't know if you know this, but we actually have a date set up at Tara Edie. Did you know that?
Oh really? I don't know. Wow, good to know.
Yeah. And we,
Yeah.
Patrick and I are members at Royal Auckland, so we're going to come play Tara Edie with you, and then you're going to come play with us at Royal Auckland. Do you like it there? Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've been to New Zealand twice, and I really liked it.
It's beautiful.
Pretty. Yeah, it's a really cool city.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Depends. I don't drink coffee during the tournament weeks, but in the
Yeah.
off weeks, if I have to get up early, and I'll drink coffee.
Yeah. New Zealand
What's
has
needed.
good coffee. Yes.
Yeah.
They
My
have great
coach loves
coffee.
coffee. Yeah. We used to argue with, should I drink hot coffee or iced coffee? Because
Yeah.
I'm a totally iced coffee person, but he just couldn't understand why you drink
Yeah.
iced coffee.
Yeah. He's hilarious. Between him and your caddy, Dave Jones, who talks the most?
Oh my God! You just cannot put this two person together. It's
I believe
ridiculous. They can keep talking like nonstop.
Do you have to ever say, cut it out, people?
Well, Craig was with me at the U.S. Open, and
Mhm.
we're all sitting together, and they just keep chatting, and I have to say, guys, could you guys just shush for a minute?
I love that. They're both wonderful
Just let me
and
focus.
yeah, I love them. But I
Yeah.
do think it's funny that you have those two because they're both wonderful, but they can talk and I can talk. So I'm saying that from me being like a big talker, they can talk. Okay, so one thing that I love about KPMG every year is the snacks and the coolers on the tee boxes. Tell me, I'm not there this year. I'm in Harris, Michigan, playing an Epson Tour event. What are the snacks in the coolers, and have you had any?
Um,
Come on, tell me what they are.
um, damn. I couldn't remember the name. It's called
Snickers?
Sneakers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneakers. I had
Sneakers.
yeah. I had two this morning.
Wow.
Feel a little bit guilty.
What did
No
you like
coffee,
it?
but 2 Snickers.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
Did-
it.
Had you ever had one before?
Yeah. That's my favorite snacks, I think.
2 more questions, actually 3, and then we'll let someone else talk. Okay.
Okay.
So I heard that you went to the Masters this year. Was that your first time? And what was your experience like? Do you feel like you learned anything from the other players? What was like a aha moment? And like, yeah, what was your takes out of the Masters?
That was my first time went to Masters. It's absolutely amazing. And but so I went to the Amen corner first and just follow Scotty play probably 3 to 4 holes. I watched him play 12, 13, 14 and just so many people there and we went to the par 3 contest in the afternoon. I'm actually I think I'm a little short because other people are all taller than me, so I'm just have a hard time to actually see
Seeing
the
everything.
shot.
Yeah.
Because all I can see just other people's back. I was like,
You should have said, watch out, people. Major winner. I'm trying to see the golf shots. And then I'm going to ask you one more question before Adam takes over a little bit. But so one of my sponsors, Serve Pro, they are the official mulligan ball of the LPGA Tour. And what that means is like they are trying to ask everybody if you could take a mulligan in life or in golf, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be serious, or it can be whatever you want. If you could take a mulligan anywhere in your life so far or in golf, what would it be?
ooh, that's a good question. I would say I probably won't take a mulligan because I'm pretty happy about my life, happy about my career so far.
Nice.
Love that.
Yeah, because I think everything you went through, it just have meanings. It just have reasons, and then you can learn from it. And
One more thing. Sorry,
I love that.
Adam. How do you feel about your
That's
game
okay.
going into a major week? And how do you feel about your game? And what do you think is going to make this the winner of this golf tournament? What's going to stand out for that person? Hopefully it's you.
well, I would definitely love to see that. I actually didn't practice a lot in the past 2 weeks because my wrist is not ready yet. But I think for this course, the tee shot is the key. Because I believe there's some players that it's a tough course and it's pretty narrow. But I think tee shot, if you can put your ball in the right position, is definitely a tick.
Yes.
So yeah,
Get your ticks on, girl. Get those ticks on.
Check
Ticks,
those
ticks.
boxes.
yeah, I love that.
Ronnie, we got two quick ones from me, and then
Yeah.
we'll send it back to Hope before we let it go. Usually,
Okay.
we do a little Instagram investigation with our guests. We try to find a throwback Instagram picture, and we talk about it. But you
Okay.
had an Instagram picture from 2021, Steph Curry, and then you didn't post again until 2023. So I guess I'm curious, how much did you change, like, life-wise from 2021 until your very first LPGA Tour title in 2023? How much about you changed in those 2 years?
Okay, I know that's gonna be the question. Well, cause I'm not a social media person. I don't really post, but Craig, actually Craig told me, he said, "Bro, you need to post something on your Instagram." I was like,
He's like,
okay,
be better.
and yeah, that's exactly what he said, and then okay, and I was like, I think after my Q school in 2021, I was like, okay, what should I post? And then Stefan broke the record, and I was like, okay, that's the one. And then and then I never posted after, because I just keep forgetting, because I don't really know what to post, and until 2023, my first win, and I start.
This is a good time to come back.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good time to get those clicks. Tick a
Yeah.
box again, if you will. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Craig was like, "Oh, thank God you posting things."
Last one, then we'll send it to Hope to wrap things up. But it looks like pretty much right there, locked and loaded for an Olympic spot. Get a chance to represent your country and play in Paris in a couple weeks' time. You know, once those things are confirmed, how much of an honor is it going to be for you to be able to do that and be an Olympian?
Well, I think words can not express how I feel right now, because it's my first time play Olympics, and it's my dream since I was 6, I think, because 2008 Olympic is in Beijing, and so I was so excited. I remember I was watching 100-meter sprinting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that's very impressive. So
Yeah.
it's been my dream to be able to play Olympics. So I'm super excited that I'm able to do it this year.
Are you gonna get a tat? Are you gonna get a tattoo of the Olympic rings
Well,
on your butt?
probably not. No. I think my mom's gonna.
She'll
Mom would
say no
disown
way.
you.
She'll say no way for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So last question for me, Ronnie. How has your life changed since you became a major champion? Do you feel any different since you got that trophy in your trophy case?
Oh, for life wise, well, my
Yeah.
banking account is looking good, but but I don't really
jealous.
feel anything. I don't really feel anything else changed,
Yeah.
because I feel like well, my confidence definitely go up after I won
Definitely.
a major. Yeah, but I think I'm still me. I'm just trying to enjoy my life, play on tour.
Mm-hmm. Did you treat yourself with anything when you got that nice little check?
Not right after, but I did bought a house last week.
Oh, last week?
Congratulations.
Yeah, like
That's
2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
No more
Yeah,
rent.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, no more, no more rent.
No more paying
Full
janitor.
circle moment.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
great.
you.
In
Thank you,
Orlando?
thank you.
Oh,
No, in Dallas actually.
Oh,
nice.
wow, nice. That's the
Yeah,
hot
just
spot.
Yeah, just for travel wise, because it's central and Dallas have direct flight to Shanghai, so it's easy for me to go home.
That's awesome.
that makes sense.
Yep.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Well, thank you,
Thank
Ronnie.
you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck this week. And we can't wait to watch you tee it up.
Thank you
Yay.
for having me.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank
Ronnie,
you.
See ya.
Thank
Go,
you,
Ronnie.
thank you. See you guys.
All right, always great to catch up with a major champion and the defending champion this week. I am seriously so excited. I mean, the course is looking amazing. I was able to get out there, but I just want to talk a little bit more about Ronnie and her win last year because it was so incredible. I mean, I just feel like a major championship that completely changes your whole life. Like she had already won once last year, but then to kind of follow it up and really put her name just like on the map and win the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, it was crazy. So Emma, just getting your thoughts. What do you remember about when she won? Like, did a lot of people have Ronnie in mind, do you think?
Well, she obviously had won at Palos Verdes previously in that last year, and she'd been playing some good golf. And to be honest, Baltusrol and the KPMG Championship, it's always such a long golf course. They play it really tough. It's just a really hard golf course. They really test all parts of your game, and it's always a very long golf course, and Ronnie hits it far. So
Yeah.
I always thought, like, when her name was at the top, like, she's someone that could do it because, let's face it, she hits the ball really far, and Yuka Sasa, who finished second, hits the ball really far. So they have that advantage where, like, I remember last year at Baltusrol, there was a par 5 that on 17 that some of us were having to lay up to the layup on
That's
our second
crazy.
shots because we couldn't get over the bunkers, whereas like these long players could just carry everything. So I'm interested to see how this year goes because I do know that the golf course is playing very long again. And I think Ronnie is another good player to watch this week because of the length of the golf course, and she does hit the ball really straight off the tee. So it was amazing to see her win. She has such a good personality. She's really
Yeah.
funny, and she just has a good sense of humor, and her caddy's awesome, and they're such a great pair together. So it was really cool to see a new youngster win a major championship last year, and I'm excited to see what happens this year, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember actually last year she played with Dame Laura Davies, I think in the first 2 rounds, and they interviewed, I think she's such a legend. She's like my favorite person ever. They interviewed her after the round, and she was like, this girl is good. Like she hits it a mile. And Dame Laura Davies was talking about Ronnie like that and was saying, yeah, I would not be surprised if she won this week. So she called it, guys. Maybe we should get her on the podcast as well. But yeah, so that was really cool to catch up with her and also see her win last year and watch her defend this week. I'm looking forward to that. But speaking of this week, we are back at Sahalee. It's in Sammamish. I think I'm saying that right. Sammamish, Washington, which is just right outside of Seattle. And like I said earlier, this course is absolutely stunning. It is tree lined. The trees are huge. It is so, so nice. But Adam, your fellow Canadian, won this tournament back in 2016. She was so young. I'm not even sure how young she was at that point, but tell us about it because I know you have all the tidbits, all the facts.
me talking about Brooke Henderson winning the
Shock.
KPMG Women's PGA Championship in 2016 is probably the least shocking thing to come on this podcast all season long. But from a drama perspective and just from like this is worth looking back on perspective, like it was insane, like having to go through kind of the details about the week and then certainly on Sunday. So really quick, playoff between Lydia Ko and Brooke Henderson. They were both 18 at the time. Brooke was like less than a year from actually just getting her LPGA Tour card as a 17-year-old when she Monday qualified into Portland and won that tournament by 8 shots, got the card, came out firing, had 9 top 10 finishes in her first 13 events of the season in 2016. The only thing that was kind of holding her back early in that year was her putting, and then she ended up the week of the KPMG Women's PGA. She switched to a new model of putter on the Tuesday of tournament week that had only been released the Monday of tournament week. So she gets out to a hot start, has the
That's
lead
brave.
on Thursday, struggles on Friday, struggles on Saturday, and then Lydia Ko ends up having the lead heading into Sunday. And Lydia Ko said something that I thought was really fascinating. I've got it here in front of me. She says, "You just never know what's going to happen until the winner's putt drops on the last hole." That was Lydia Ko on Saturday before the finale in 2016. Of course, her comment comes to fruition. Ko shoots a 4 under 67 to her credit, but BH goes out and shoots a 6 under 65 5, the low round of the week, and then it's down to the two of them in the playoff. BH absolutely rifles a 3-wood to like 3 feet on the first playoff hole, wins in a playoff, wins her first major championship, and then it's just kind of down to the record books after that, and of course goes on to wins 2 majors, and I could go on and on about her. But I do think the unique thing is kind of twofold. Number one, if Brooke and Lydia, and you'll probably hear more about this from me later on, if Brooke and Lydia came down on the wire again this year, like, yeah, 8 years have passed, but, that would be pretty sick if that ended up happening again. And I just think that the manner in which the tournament finished from an LPGA Tour major championship perspective, as it's kind of wrapped in drama, the fact that Brooke came out, shot the round of the week in Sunday's finale, and then Lydia still had to make a couple late birdies for them to tie. Like, here we are 8 years later, and I know obviously I'm Canadian, Brooke's Canadian, and et cetera, but you've got two of the biggest global superstars in the game going shot for shot. It was awesome, and I hope that we have something semi-similar again this week. But it was a pretty cool week. The fact that they were both 18, the fact they were just both kind of starting their careers, and we had kind of that nice battle, and now they're super close friends was amazing. So that was Sahalee 8 years ago. It's got something to live up to, I guess, now.
Yeah, and I always love to. First of all, great breakdown, Adam. That was like insightful for me. But I always love when we return to a course, because obviously at the U.S. Women's Open, we returned to Lancaster Country Club. And then this week we're returning to Sahalee. So it'll be really neat to just kind of see how it plays differently. But speaking of how it plays, I spoke with some caddies. I walked the course a little bit, and it is super tight. So I think it's going to be very important. Whoever hits the most fairways this week, I think, are going to be up there on the leaderboard. But Emma, I don't know if you've talked to your hubby, who's on the bag this week for Gabby Ruffles as usual, but have you talked to him at all about how the course is playing or just how it's looking?
Yeah, I mean, I have talked to him. I've talked to some of the players. I actually talked to Allie yesterday about it. But I also just know from playing in the Northwest in America, how those trees look. If you ever think of the most intimidating, like you see those books or scary movies, they always have those big old trees. And for some reason, those big old trees makes it way more intimidating than some little tree. It's something about the size of the trees. I remember I played out in Oregon, Eugene Country Club back 2016 in the NCAA championship. And from the pictures, it really looks very similar to the trees. Tree-lined golf course, huge trees that make it look even tighter than what it actually is. Very intimidating off the tee. So for someone to be in the fairway and feel very comfortable on their tee shots, it's going to be huge. The rough is thick. The greens are Poana. So obviously, like, you got to keep in mind you're going to miss a couple because of the Poana greens. They just get bumpy. That's just the way Poana greens work. So you got to make sure that you can stay patient on the greens, but most importantly, like you said, Hope, like hitting the fairways. And also it's playing really long. So somewhat like Lancaster Country Club, if you miss the fairway, you're going to be in the thick rough, possibly behind trees, with a 5-iron plus, which is like a double bogey in itself, our normal tournaments week in to week out, if you hit in the rough, the rough may be thick, but you're hitting like a 9-iron or an 8-iron rather than like a 5-iron, which is much harder to hit out of that thick grass. So from what I can see, the fairways are going to be crucial, and length and fairways are like crucial. Both of those two things are going to make up for the winner. I think whoever hits the most fairways and whoever's the longest is going to win this tournament. I still have Allie in the back of my brain. She hits it far, she hits it straight, and for some reason Allie just continues to show up in the majors. She almost won the British Open last year. She finished third at the U.S. Open this year. Finished third. Did she finish fourth last week at Meyer? And so she's just kind of trending, and she hits her driver long, straight, and I don't think she gets intimidated very easily.
Yeah, she seems pretty calm, cool, collected.
Yeah, I think she's pretty.
I've seen her.
Yeah, she's got her head on straight, so she's someone that I'm going to be watching for.
Yeah, Adam, do you have anyone you're keeping an eye on? Maybe who you think might hoist the trophy this week?
Yeah, I mean, this is such a little tap in, but like I just can't get Yuka Sasso out of my head. Like she obviously has proven to be a winner on big stages. She's a great driver of the golf ball, and she finished second at last year's KPMG Women's PGA. I know obviously it's a different golf course on obviously a different part of the country. Like there's no denying that. But when you think about these venues that have major championship pedigree, you look at Baltusrol and how iconic it was, and then you come to Sahalee and you got to kind of do everything right, and she's fresh off another U.S. Women's Open win, kind of to Emma's point about Lancaster, kind of being that kind of place where you need to be such a solid total driver of the golf ball. Again, and this is exactly what we talked about in the podcast a couple weeks ago, was like big game hunters. Like Yuka Sasso to U.S. Women's Open, you're not going to do that unless you've kind of got this mental fortitude absolutely dialed along with every part of your game. So, again, it's an easy one for me to say, but at the same time, it's like, can't really not pick her.
Can't look at her,
Can't
I
ignore
want to bring
her.
up someone else too. I think that you'll think this is interesting, both of you. It just popped in my head when you were talking about long ball hitters. Lynn Grant. I mean, she just won that mixed event. She hits it really far.
She's in good form.
She's in good form. I think she could be someone else to watch. I love Yuka Sasso. I think Allie's a great pick. I think Lynn Grant's a great pick. There's a couple like long straight hitters that I think could really have a good week this week.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I actually kind of have Allison Corpuz in my head. She
like
loves
it.
to hit a good fairway.
She
was
does
like-
hit the fairways.
Yeah, I was going to
And she's
say,
been
Hope,
playing well.
you probably have her in the back of or in the front of your mind because she's leading the tour in driving accuracy.
Yeah, actually, you're totally right. And she's done it before. She's won a major before. So
She can get her done.
our new saying, we get a new saying from Emma on the podcast every single week. I absolutely love it. But Adam already spoke about the stat last week, KPMG Performance Insights, which was crazy, Lilia's insane win. But I actually have some exciting news, and that is that I will be catching up with Justin Ray, who is the lead analyst for KPMG Performance Insights, and he is just an absolute legend. He is so smart. Honestly, and I'm super excited to get his insights, but we are going to have a little mini episode where I will kind of just pick his brain. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, let me know, because guys, I can ask him. So do y'all have any questions for Justin Ray?
Justin
I'm
is
not smart enough to ask any questions.
Justin is the king of peculiar like Tiger Woods stats usually on Twitter. Like anytime he because Tiger has obviously done things that almost no one else has ever done. Sometimes he just puts out all these incredibly mind blowing things. So we need to know what his most like mind blowing women's golf stat is. Just something that like is maybe a little quirky, but also it's something that you would like share with your friends at around the fire pit or at the bar or something like that. So whatever the most quirky but like eye popping women's golf stat, we come prepared, J Ray. We need it.
All right. I'm excited. I'll ask him. I think the last thing that I really want to talk about for this week is the fact that it is the final week that you can qualify for the Olympics, and it is getting pretty crazy on the Rolex LPGA rankings. We were all just talking about it before we clicked record on this podcast. And Emma, I know you are invested. It's wild. Some of the teams are really coming down to the wire. So I just want to give a quick little rundown. I mean, there's going to be so many teams, so I can't touch on all of them, but I'm going to talk about the craziest ones. So I want to start with the American team. First and foremost, right now we have Nelly Korda, Lilia Vu, and Rose Zhang on the team because all three of them are in the top 15 of the Rolex rankings. But Megan Kang is at 16. Allison Lee is at 18. Ali Ewing is at 24th. And Allison Corpuz is right there as well. So if any of those four players win or even have a good finish, there's a good chance, that Team USA is going to have four players. And I don't know, Emma, you picked Ali, so who knows? We might even see her on the Olympic team. But
well, it's funny. I kind of think Allison could do it too. I think Megan could too. Like, honestly, they're all great players. Like, anybody can do it any single week. So the American team is very interesting right now to me. And like you're about to probably say, the Japanese team is blowing my mind at the moment.
I know. Team Japan is absolutely insane. I mean, as everyone watching or listening probably already knows, Yuka Sasso won the US Women's Open. So that really, she got 100 points from her win. That's what a major win is worth in the Rolex LPGA rankings is 100 points. So she skyrocketed up the rankings and she is in sixth right now. And listen to this. In 20th is Ayaka Fudue, in 21st is Nasahata Oka, and in 22nd is Miyu Yamashita. So they're all right there.
Wild.
Yeah, so this week could change everything for them. Yeah. So, I mean, Emma, just talk about how crazy it is to be able to represent your country in one of the most esteemed events in the world. I mean, how insane would that be? Yeah.
So dreamy. I think as a kid, we all watched the Olympics growing up, like the diving, swimming, gymnastics, all whatever you like, skiing, whatever. But all of a sudden when golf came into the picture, it was like, oh my gosh, I could be an Olympian.
Totally.
And, I think it's just it's always cool to represent your country. I've gotten to do it several times on an amateur level. And it's just so amazing because instead of saying like Emma Talley from Princeton, Kentucky, all of a sudden they're saying Emma Talley from the United States of America. And it just gives you chills. And I can't imagine doing it on the next level in the Olympics. So, no matter what country you're from, playing for your country is such an honor. And, like you've said, they're playing for a lot this week. So I don't know if they all know where they are ranked. I don't know if they know, hey, I need to beat Ayaka this week. Like, I don't know where their head's at.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they are not. I'm assuming the people around them are not telling them where they're at and what they need to do. Just do your best and see what happens. But I wouldn't put it past some of the girls probably secretly know where they stand. They probably would never tell us that they know where they stand, but
they know.
They probably do secretly. So I think everyone knows they're playing for a big, whether or not they even know where they're ranked, they know they're playing for something big this week, bigger than just a major champion. They're also playing for their country to get into the Olympics. So it's really cool. I'm excited to see what happens.
Definitely. And Adam, your girl, Brooke Henderson's in.
That's the most automatic. That was more automatic than me talking about the 2016 Women's PGA this week. But just real quick from me before we put a pin on things here, the precedent has been set that the final event of qualification could determine particular people who are going and not going. And for the American side, on the men's side, Patrick Cantlay finished tied for third at the U.S. Open last week, and he ended up just one spot out of qualifying for the American side. And for Canada, the only, again, I'm dialed into this, but Corey Connors finished tied for ninth at the U.S. Open in a three-way tie, and he ended up being literally one spot in the world ranking above of Adam Hadwin by like a half a point or thereabouts.
Crazy.
So only
every
because
point matters.
Every point matters. Every shot, like Corey was literally one shot away from not actually qualifying for the Olympics. So again, it's top of my head. It's just it's the precedent has been set that the layers to qualifying for the Olympics could come down to a round on Sunday, and I think that just adds a really neat layer to an already spectacular week on the LPGA Tour. So I'm fired up. Should be fun.
We got to touch on our quick nine first. Adam, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, so I'm going to bring up the things that I brought up from before, if only because when we're talking about global stars and engagement and things that you just want to see, and sometimes the sequels, like Godfather Part 2, someone might say is better than The Godfather. So my first two, Lydia Ko, Brooke Henderson, let's run it back. Let's just go. Let's do it again Sunday. I can't wait. Obviously, Brooke's had a very solid season, but just hasn't found the winner's circle yet. Lydia remains kind of that 1 point back of getting into the Hall of Fame, and maybe it's Lydia's turn to take Brooke down at the Women's PGA Championship, which has had a lot of close finishes. I think something crazy. It's like the last 8 have either been in playoffs or somebody's won by one shot. So it's really been a very, very close finish, and I think that's probably somewhat due to the venues. So that's my third point. So we got Brooke, we got Lydia. Number 3, the thing to watch out for, the venue. Sahalee, obviously, a lot of major championship pedigree, hosted a men's PGA a couple times now with the women's PGA. looking ahead, we've got PGA Frisco, that new venue for the PGA of America down in Texas, going to be one of the first times that they host a major championship, so that's next year. And then we've got Hazeltine and we've got Congressional. So you think about these big, brawny, major championship venues that everybody knows because of maybe they've hosted Ryder Cups or PGAs and et cetera. It's going to be it's a sick run for the Women's PGA Championship as well. So golf courses matter, venues matter, and they've really got some nice choices over the next couple of years as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Good quickie. Okay, mine is, of course, my girl, Allie. I call her Allie Mack. Allie Ewing. She's had 2 top 10s in the last 2 weeks. She is a major phenom. She always plays well in the majors. I'm assuming she is confirmed for the Solheim Cup, but technically not. So this would be a great way to like solidify her spot into the Solheim Cup and solidify her spot for the Olympics. So she's just playing really good golf right now. Her head's on really well. She just seems like she's in a good place. Second person that I want to talk about, Kristen Gilman. She ended up finishing 7th last week. She's a 2-time USAM champ. She went to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, and she she is someone that I look up to at the moment. Her rookie year, she was just on the verge of getting into the Solheim Cup, ended up losing her card the second year out, had to go back to Epson Tour for several years, came back out, and at the Ford Championship, I asked her, like, how have you gotten yourself back into this? Because she's actually had a really good year this year. She's top 70 on CME so far. And she told me, she said, I know I'm a champion, so I just had to keep telling myself, like, I haven't lost that. I know that I can do it. I've done it on the biggest stages, so I know I can do it again. So I just feel like she's almost someone to watch too, because I know her head's in a great spot. She knows how to win golf tournaments. She had a great week last week. And she's a ball striker, so someone to look out for. Allison Lee, obviously playing great golf right now. She is just one of my favorite golf swings on tour. She has a pure swing, always has. Ever since she got her new caddy, who is also a friend of hers, they've been killing it. And like Hope said before, she's also playing for an Olympic spot. And I'm actually going to do one more. I know I'm not supposed to do 4, but I can't help myself. Kind of throwing this in there just because it came on my head. So someone withdrew. I can't remember who withdrew, but I got the notification because, I'm a player. And someone withdrew. And Sydney Clanton got a spot into the KPMG this week, which I think is very notable to say because she is an LPGA winner. She has been on Epson Tour for the last 2 years, has played well this year and last year, and she hits the ball a mile, and she's a good player. So I think this is almost like, you always think about just the winners, but she's someone that could possibly get her card back if she continues to play well, and she could gain her spot back on the LPGA Tour just by someone withdrawing this week if she has a good week this week. So she's someone just to watch a different storyline.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and what a crazy story for her to be able to just get into the tournament last minute and be like, oh my God, I'm playing in this major. Okay, great. Good job, guys. Okay. My quick 9, I feel like it's kind of a given, but I'm going to start with, of course, our girl Nelly Korda. She has won 6 times this season. She has won 2 majors. She knows how to win a major. She hits it so far. I mean, like you said, Emma, I don't think we're going to see a missed cut from her this week. I think she is probably angry and she is fired up and she is ready to hopefully win a tournament. So we will see how she does, but I'm excited to watch her tee it up this week. My second one is Grace Kim. I feel like I have to talk about her. She is just the sweetest person. And it was really hard because last week I was cheering for her, but I was also cheering for Lilia and I was also cheering for Lexi. So I was like, whoever wins at this point, it will just be a really good storyline. But Grace Kim has been playing really well. She had a runner-up finish last week. She's been playing well all season. And I think she's someone that you need to keep an eye on this week because she is trending. And hopefully she's in a good headspace after that runner-up finish. And my last one is Hannah Green, fellow Aussie. We've talked a lot about Nelly and we've also talked a lot about Hannah, but Hannah is having an all-time season. She's won twice. She had a runner-up finish to Nelly, my first point. But yeah, so I think never count Hannah out, but she's proven herself time and time again. She's won KPMG. Nellie's won KPMG. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen during a major championship. So guys, I think that wraps us up. Happy Major Week. This is going to be an amazing week, and I just want to quickly tell you guys how to tune in, how to watch. I just also want to say that I think this is like the best time in sports, just for like every sport. A lot of playoffs are happening, which is super exciting. A lot of major championships, and this week you can tune in by watching on Golf Channel, Peacock, and NBC. And for whoever is listening or watching this podcast, first and foremost, thank you for doing that. We owe it to you guys. So leave reviews, keep watching, keep engaging with us. And yeah, you can watch or listen. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts, and you can watch on YouTube and LPGA.com. So be on the lookout for my interview with Justin Ray. It's going to be super interesting, interviewing a little genius we have on our side, guys. But yeah, it's going to be a good week. So stay tuned, guys.
Good luck, gals. Y'all come back now, you hear?
I was wondering if you were going to say it.